me go ahead and do it with you one more time. And I did want to remind you, if you're going to do it just like I'm doing it, you're going to want one yellow. So we'll have blue, 2 yellow, and then 2 blue. But you can do it however, whatever colors or pattern or whatever. You can do it yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. However you want to do it. If you're working obviously not with yellow and blue DigiKit, then, or yellows and blues, I guess is what it's called. But apparently the lady that did this lives on a boat. So I thought that was pretty cool. My husband and I thought about doing that once. All right, and that's going to work perfectly. I can slide that over just a smidge more. And then burnish. And then we're going to put some glue right underneath, right at the edge, and then just a little bit up that center. Make sure this is where you want it. And give it a good burnish and spread that glue out. There we go. Now, we're going to do the same thing. Glue right in the seam. I'm not putting a ton either. I'm just getting enough in there so I've got glue in there. You just want to make sure this actually gets into the corner. That's the biggie. Make sure it's going to close on this side. And now look at it and make sure it's centered between your 2 little pointy things. And everything looks good. So I'm going to burnish that down. All right. And then right here by the score line, on the inside of the score line, so that your blue paper falls down on it and gets caught. And then just right around the edge of that side of the pocket opening, and then the outside edge of the pocket opening. And let's see. I keep forgetting it doesn't have anything right here. I don't want it to be glued down right there. There we go. Lift up. Yeah, you just want to make sure that you're not gluing down too much on the edge. All right. Now we have all 3 pages done. I think the next thing that I'm going to do, what is this one? Is acting a little funky. Hold on. Did I get that one all the way in there? See, now I didn't get that one all the way down to the end. There's like, oh, poodle head. That was the first one I did. So I'm going to take off just a smidge off of this one. Excuse me. Let's see, where am I going to do that? I guess I'm going to take it off this way. So just line it up with the other one. Get your ruler all nice and straight on the other one. And that's what I'm taking off. Oh, let's see. I had to get my knife. My craft knife. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. Much better. Much better. Now they're all in line, looking good. Now I think I want to do something with the edges. What do I have here? Got angle, I've got round, and then I've got stub and deco. Let's use the stub side. I like that side. And we're going to do all of these. So, do I like that side? I think so. Wah! See, that is kind of hard to get that one down in there just right. There we go. Yep. Yeah, you just got to kind of finagle this inside corner a little bit. So, if you haven't put yours together yet, it would definitely be something that you would want to think about. Come on. There we go. You might as well do it before you put them in. Be much, much better. Okay. Last one. No. There we go. That's a little better. There. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so now let's see. So I have quite a few of these. So the yellow going in here, I think will be quite nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick these bad boys in here. Now we will be shortening them up. And then of course these other ones we'll be able to use as pockets and such. Okay, so there, those two, and then I'm going to take one of these. And I believe these are exactly the same, yeah. So I'm just going to take one of these, mark it, and then we're going to mark it again. All right. So there we have a little strip. We're basically using this whole sheet of yellow. Alrighty. Let me erase my pencil mark. Good. Alright. So these go into our leftovers. And so now we have tags made. Yay! That's easy. Okay, so blue, blue, yellow, yellow, blue, blue. And then yellow, yellow, blue, blue, yellow, yellow on the tags. Don't call it yellow and blues for nothing. Okay, so now the hardest part is actually getting the first page done. Oh, man. Okay, so I think I'm going to pick something exactly the same to go into the center of each one of these. something that's going to be, I mean, that you can't get any more neutral than that. Something that's definitely going to be neutral, no matter which way we go. That one would work as well. None of those will work. I will get all these cut out too. Usually I have them already cut out, but I have just been, we've been having some work done in our yard, and I lucked out last year and didn't get deer eating my garden. But seeing that is very neutral as well. But I think I'm just going to use that cream colored one. That way it's super neutral. And I haven't cut my edges off. Usually I have all that done. But let's see. And I want to cover this pretty much from end to end, because this is going to give it some more support. Okay, I'm going to cut these off, and then I'm going to cut my strips. And the gusset is a 1/2 inch. And so, you know, you want to cut it just ever so smaller than the 1/2 inch. There's my 2 little white strips off. There. Find my little spot here. Alright, let's see how I did. Yeah, that looks good. And it works very well. And I'm going to leave it long. I'm going to leave it, you know, the length that it is. It's too short to get all the way up here to the tags, but I mean to the pages. See, now that's the only thing though, is I didn't do the tags for the inside pockets, because there's tags on the insides as well. Wow. Okay. Maybe I need to cut this lengthways. I think that's what I'll do, because that'll definitely be long enough. Because I want to help support this in the page and get it glued down, because the book is going to come up. Sorry. The book is going to come up just a, you know, a little bit past up here. And this part where you see glass and no white, it needs to have something. So it will have this strip going past it. We could have kept the white part going up. And that is certainly something that you could do, is go to the outsides of the score line and cut it all the way off until you get these into your base pages. This little centerpiece that we put in, then you'd be able to cut it off up where it belonged. But I don't know, because it's just that single piece and it's not attached to anything here. I don't know how much truly that would help you. So I think this way is probably going to be the best. So I need to have, I'm going to cut 5 of them just in case. And then I'll have the rest of the paper to use for whatever. So I'm going to cut 5 slightly smaller than 1/2 inch. So we are at, so let me go ahead and get that done. And we're not going to glue them down yet, but I'm going to get that done just so then I know what papers I can go ahead and use. Okay, so I am going to have to make it a little more difficult for myself, but if you guys have got enough papers, that'll be great. You'll be fine. So I am going to go ahead and cut this paper where I would want it. And I want to have a nice little white edge. I'm going to pull it down here so I can see very well. But I'm going to give myself a nice white edge all the way around. Find my pencil. There it is. And I want the same white edge on this side. All right. I'm going to cut that if I can find my mark. Where are you? Right there. Okay. Let's double check that I'm going to have a nice white edge all the way around. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter, but mainly you want to make sure that up top here you're going to have it. It does need to be just a little smaller. Let me double check. Yeah, that is just not that straight. Let me put this here. Let's see now. There, that's much better. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to cut this in 3 inches. So I should be able to get, or 2.5, let's see, 8.5. So 2.5 is 5, and 2.5 is 7, 8. Yeah. 7, 1, 2, yeah, 7.5. So I'll have enough to get 3 of them out of here. And then I'll cut another one and get 3 of them out of there. I'm assuming that this is going to work. Well, see, it won't work on that one. That one's a little bit smaller, but it will work on this side. And I am sure that I'll have another one that it will work on. If not, then I'll just keep making them. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these in 2.5 inch increments. All right, and that gives me a little piece to use later. Okay, so that will get me 3 of them. And then I decided, I'm going to go ahead and put this back for a moment. I decided that I liked this door for my first page. Oh, and I still didn't cut off the white. I did cut off some white, just not this one. Okay, and that one. Okay. Now, let's see this. This is my first page. And this is going to fit on here very nicely. So now we are going to get a couple of little clamps. And I will show you why in a moment. Feels weird not having to, whoopsie, not having to ink my edges. I love it. Got to work with white more often, although it is so hard to keep it clean. So hard. Let's make sure. Okay. All right, so I am going to place one of these down. And then I'm going to place this on it so that I can cut this designer paper with an edge on both sides. And I kind of want to keep the edge even. You can either make it a really slender edge of the blue. So you'll have your white and then just a sliver of blue and then your paper, or you can have it more. I mean, obviously you can do it any way you want to. All right, so that, where's my mark? Where's my mark? There it is. This is really pretty paper. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to line these up, center them. You go ahead and do it this way. Line them up on the top, nice and even, and centered side to side. So you'll have the same blue on one side as you do on the other. Once you get that, put your little clippy things on. Let's see, let's move it down a little bit while we set up the next. Okay, so now we need our doodad here again, and we're going to line. Well, wait a minute. Let's see. Yeah, this is for the pages. Yeah. So I'm going to pull this like this. And I'm going to center the papers. And then get it right up to the edge. Double check that you're liking what you see. Okay. And put that around there. And we're going to... Oh, I got to get my big one out again because this is going to be wider. Because this is wider than 6. Oh, it is 6 inches. So, I think, although I hate putting this in straight, but there's really not a whole big choice there. I'm going to use the bigger one. I think it'll just do too much to my Timmy Vagabond. All right, so let me get this sucker out of here again. This is so heavy, but oh my goodness, I am so happy that I have it because it gives me so many other options that I didn't have with just the 6-inch. Ugh. Okay. All right, so we're going to lay this down and remove our clippies because they obviously won't go through. Just make sure you don't let your paper move. That tape is holding it well enough, I believe. Okay, put this on there. Whoa, that one hurt. This thing can beat you up if you're not careful. All right, let's see if it went through both. And it did. Good. All right. So, I get this tape up. And keep all these smaller pieces that we're taking off. because we will be able to use them again. Yes, we will. Not put nothing to waste, babies. Nothing to waste. All right, where is my scissors? There they are. So now I'm just going to, whoopsie, cut off. And then take these off. I got some, that tape on there. Pop these two out. And they will come in handy for other things. There we go. Good. See, now we have two of those. And they're going to line up beautifully. Yeah. All right, so there's that. And that one's really pretty, so with all those flowers right there. And I was glad that I was going to get the one flower in this one. Okay. So let me go ahead and put this off to my side. I'm going to show you. Oh my goodness, this thing is heavy. Ugh. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and show you how we're going to do this. Okay, so there's my other two pieces. We're going to save all of these. All of these we're going to save, okay? So don't get rid of those. Where is my piece that I... Oh, yeah. If we're saving these, obviously we're going to use it. Okay. So we're going to put that just like that. Awesome, right? Love it. And then I am going to take, like I have here, a strip. I'm going to cut this down the center, and I'm just going to put about a 1/2 inch down the sides and along the bottom. So let me get that done, and I'll be right back to show you. Okay, I figured I'd bring you along for the ride. So we're going to go ahead and put glue on this one. Now, if you don't have any dies, or you just want to cut it straight, then cut it straight. You do not have to do it this way. I mean, this is a whole lot more work. It's very pretty, but it is a whole lot more work. Just try and make whatever it is that you're doing. You can cut it straight across. You can just put a circle, a half circle in it, whatever you want. I just want to double check what this is going to look like with it. Oh yeah, that is going to be so pretty. So pretty. Okay. Now I'm going to take, now I took one of the leftover pieces from cutting these main centers in our envelope. I took one of these and I just did a 1/2 inch all the way down. Well, the last two are a little shorter than a 1/2 inch, but that's okay. And we're just going to make sure we're leaving the same amount, pencil, same amount along the bottom. And let's double check it. Along the sides and along the bottom. And this is going to give us now, if you've got enough papers, you'll be able to do this. just with all the papers. And I think it will definitely be helpful to the envelopes. You know, the more cardstock you can put on it. But this will be sufficient to keep it working for us. I don't think I got that one a little too, yeah. So yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Keep going. That's a little too short. Darn nabbit. Dag nabbit. Well, let's just cut another one. I need to sharpen my pencil because it is not sharp. And so it doesn't make a very good mark. Okay, that should be better. Let's try it. Much better. Much better. I did write on my white though. Gotta keep that white white. Okay, gonna glue this one down. I've got some texture on this paper and I'm just noticing that so far I have gotten it on the same side. But yeah, I want to make sure I keep getting it on the same side. There we go. Okay. Another piece here along the bottom. I got a little end here that's not glued down. Get that glued down. Okay. And then we're just going to take this from one bottom to the other bottom, leaving the same edge. Oh, my little dog came in here. My big baby came in here and laid down. I thought he was going to start bugging me, but he didn't. Okay. Now, which side? This side. So this is going to be, for me, a little more time consuming, and I think I'm just going to run through and do all of them. And then I can just be, you know, decorating and stuff. As long as the edges are nice and even. Okay, so then this goes like so, with a blue edge all the way around. Oh yeah, that is beautiful. And then we're just going to mark where we want to cut it. Okay. And there we have it. I love it. Oh, that is so pretty. That is so pretty. It's going to be a lot of extra work, but it is going to be definitely worth it. I love it. Okay, and then we're just going to put this down. The front is just going to be this page. I am not going to do anything else to it, because I will probably do something on the front inside cover. And so we'll just keep this one simple and let the pretty paper speak for itself. What is in store for you inside this lovely book? Okay. And then a little bit up. Beautiful. And I like leaving a little bit more of the blue edge. It just makes it pop. Love it. Yeah. That is nice. Okay, so that is what I'm going to have to be doing with all of mine. Hopefully you have enough papers, cardstock, where you don't have to. But if you don't, this is a good way of saving on your papers. I love it. That's just beautimous. Okay, so I am going to, so I've got 4 of these on each page. I'm going to go through, let's see, and figure out what paper I'm going to want on each page. What's the base paper? So I have this. And then in here, so that's mainly yellow with a little bit of blue. I think in here I want to go yellows. Definitely want to go yellows. So let's see. So I could do that. And then that is all. I'm going to go ahead and put these out. Let's see, I don't even know. Let's see, I've got 12. So I've got 12 pages. I think I have to do some more. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need to go back and print at least 3 more, but I do have then a bit amount left of each page. So that will work very nicely. And then like on this one where I cut and use the door, I can also use the same sheet but put this side down, and the door I'll have as a small piece. I'm sorry, I all of a sudden got the hiccups. I've been getting the hiccups this week for some reason. So I'm going to print myself 3 more, and then I'm going to go through and figure out what I want to put where. But I suppose let's do yeah. So we're going to do this on this side, and this on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and close these 2 up. And then the back, I think I might do this music sheet on the back. So there's that. Then the next one, so it will be facing this music sheet. Yeah, that will be good for that one. And I honestly think that I would love to have this as an all the way across. I think this is so pretty to do that on the inside. But I don't know that I want it on the yellow page. I don't know. I think I'll do this on the back of the yellow page. But yeah, I think that'll look good. So I definitely need, although I did print 2 of those. Oh, I put one in for my copy. So I definitely need another one of these. And then I have this one. Let's see. That's done, that's done, that's done. That's done, that's done, that's done. And then I have across from this, I think that's where I'm going to stick the other half. This is where the door came from, and I'll stick the other half of that there. And this is going to go on the outside here. So I just need to figure out what I'm going to put on the inside of my back 2. So I need to print out one with the door, one with this stuff all the way across. I don't know that I want to do this yellow, but the yellow can fit in there. Or I'm just going to save the yellow. I kind of like to have the flowery parts. I am going to do flips and flaps and stuff. I know I'm going to have a lot of this cutting. And the rest of them I'm not going to glue down. I'm going to, because everything else is going to be underneath this piece. Okay? So then we're not going to have to worry about cutting any more of that. Just one per page. So 12 times. All right, guys, let me go and print some more out and get all these white edges cut and do all that, and I will be back. Thanks, hon. Okay, guys, I'm going to go over one more time with you how I'm doing the cut for this. But in case you don't have a die cut machine, or you don't have this die or something similar to it, I wanted to show you some alternatives, okay? So one of the first things that I would think of if I didn't have that die would be one of my dies that has an interesting shape to it. So you could make a mark on each one of these as your point that you want to cut, you know, wherever. And you match both these up at the top, and then you would put this wherever you're going to make a mark on it, and there you would have a decorative cut. Okay, so you can do that with any of your dies that you may have. Now, if you don't have a die, say you have, let's see, now this is not very decorative, but if you have an edge punch, you can just punch across, okay? If you have, let's see. All right, so if you have squares, if you want to make it different, you can cut a square out, cut a square out, cut a square out, cut a square out. Kind of separate them out, okay? So you can do this with anything. Or if all you have is a ruler and a pencil, you can just make a V. You figure out how far down you want. And I think we were going, 1 inch. So you would take your ruler. I'm going to do this on the back. You would take your ruler and say, okay, I want to cut down 1 inch. And I'm just going to make a mark on both sides, so I've got that. We're going to find our center. down 1 inch. There's our center. Okay, and then you can just go from the corner to your center. And just make your mark. And then do the same on this side. And there you've got a V. And you just cut both of these at the same time. So, you know, you would put this one behind. Just use your craft knife or your scissors. Make a V. And that'll make a cute opening. You don't have to have all of this stuff that I have. But I have it, and I'm dying to use it, so I'm going to use it. Now, the other thing is, I know originally I said to cut these at the same width, but I think it's going to be easier if we go ahead and cut these down where we have a nice border. I'm not sure which way I set it, so that's why I wanted to go over one more time. So we're going to cut our designer paper small enough to leave a nice blue edge that we want on both sides. So let me go ahead and cut some of this off. Check it. I'm trying to make them all as similar. I don't know, that just sounded funny. Similar as possible. Just a little bit more. Okay, so even if you don't have all the fancy machines, you can still do this project. It will still be fun. Okay, once you get this where you want it, oh my gosh, all my fingernails have broken and I cannot pick up anything. Then we're going to line them up across the top and get them even where they have the blue edge. Like we're going to glue it down, okay, and even across the top. Then I'm going to flip it. I'm going to put my die cut end towards me, and I'm going to center the blue sheet, since that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to center that onto the die, keeping everything at the top. Make sure that your front designer sheet is all the way up as well, that it didn't slip down. And then we're just going to run this through. Oh, let me put my... Ugh. All right. And if it doesn't cut through, then you just as long as you kind of cut them all exactly the same. I'm cutting mine straight across. And then I'm pulling my tape off. This micropore tape is great. I should put some in my Etsy shop when I get that opened up. I've got a boatload of it. And we're saving all these, and I'm just leaving the blue with them. I've just got them in my little basket. I've got all of those together, and I've got the white ends that we cut off of our envelopes in there, and then all of my blue and, you know, my spare stuff. Okay. So again, I will show you, then this will go, let me just pull this. This will go on the envelope, like so. And then this will go, well, of course I moved it. You glue them down individually, but you get the idea. And isn't that going to just be beautiful? I love it. Okay, So I'm going to put this away and clean up, and I'll come back to you and we'll start doing some fun building on each one of our pages. All right, guys, hang with me because we're going to start having some flips and flaps and pockets and all that good stuff. Woo! Okay, back in a sec. Okay, so as I told you before, other than the first page, we're not gluing any of them down until after we build some nice flips and flaps and things like that. So, I'm sorry, I gotta get this from clinking and clanking now that I'm down onto my glass surface. There we go. And a little sip, sorry. Oh, I was fusty. Okay, so the first one's done. As far as, you know, we've got the main paper down. Wasn't going to do anything. Going to keep that simple. Second one. So, now we can start playing around with flips and flaps and stuff like that. Let's measure, just so I can kind of get a good reading. Let's see. Let me put this where it's going to be. And when we go to put these on, you may be doing a little bit of cropping it a little bit, cutting it down. You'll just have to see, but for right now, all I'm getting is kind of where I am from the bottom of the page. So I'd say if I kept everything at 6 1/4. No. 6. Let's just do everything at 6. That way, if you got a 6x6 pad, you'll be sitting purty. And let's see. Let's see how well this is going to do. And none of them go this way. Except for, no, that wouldn't. Let's see. That's the only thing when they make these kits. They make them for journals. So they don't have anything going this way. Now this one could probably make it so that we could do a whole thing. And I mean the butterfly's just flying sideways. That would probably work either way, coming up or coming down, this, you know, this section. This would definitely work. Pretty much would want to keep that up and down. And this end, yeah. See, that's the only thing is, on digital kits, they are primarily making digital kits for journals. But I think now that we're getting into mini albums, working on mini albums and many other things, but mini albums especially, sometimes we need the paper to be a horizontal left to right instead of horizontally. You know, if you are holding it an 8.5, you know, if you're holding your paper like this, but you want to use it like this, is what I'm saying. And I think they're going to start doing some papers that can be at least, you know, a little bit more can be used either way. This one could definitely be used sideways because it just looks like it's kind of growing out of the corner. So you're just going to have to play around with your papers and that kind of stuff. Okay. Having said all that, let's see what I have in my blue, because I think I'd like to stick with blue. Got all my papers. I printed out one more of each sheet except this one. I I only had so many sheets in there, so I was one short. So this one is the only one I didn't print back out. And only of these whole pages, I printed one of each except for the center one. This one, where it has it both top and bottom, I printed 2 extra of those. Okay, so let me see now. These are going to be 6 inches. And let's see what we've got here. Let's move this out of the way so we can... Now, you want to stay away from the fold line. 1/8 of an inch, if that. You don't have to do it that far. So if we did 6 by 6... Yeah, see, that's only going to give us 1 per page, though. And I don't have that many blue. And I'll only have 1 yellow left. So let me see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I have 5. And I don't think any of these are long enough to go from side to side. No. Okay, so I have 5 sheets. If I cut them at... If I cut it at 5.5, so that would give me 5.5 instead of 6, which is fine. And yeah, then I'd have plenty of room. So I think I'm going to go ahead. And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 of them. And I've got, what are the pages? 2, 4, 6, 12. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. So I will do some flaps with those. I have 1 yellow one. I've got all my tags already, other than small things, and you will have tidbits left over. Let's see. Okay. If I don't want to do a whole flap every time, what can I do? Guys, let me think about it. I don't want to bore you while you hear the wheels grinding in my head. Because I got to make this work where we're going to have a lot of nice interaction. But when you only have 5 sheets, it can be limiting. But that's a challenge. And that's a good one. It keeps us fresh. Okay, so I'll be back in a second. Well, you guys were probably screaming it at me, but I found some white in my 12 by 12 stack. This is some recollections that I bought years. I've had these for years when I worked at Michael's, which has been years ago. But I tell you what, you got a discount at Michael's. And, you know, when the paper went on sale, well, you weren't allowed to go and grab it and take it in the back or anything. I mean, you did have to wait till you got off work. But you knew what was on sale. You knew where it was. And my husband kept asking me, he said, "You're going to bring some of that paycheck home, aren't you?" Oh, yeah. So... And because there's a little bit of age, I think it's not dirty. I'm not saying that. But a few of them are not quite as white on spots. So I will be kind of careful about that. But it's just on I think just on these 2. Maybe they were sticking out Okay. Anyway, so I am going to go ahead and cut 2 of them at 6 inches. So then I'll have 4 12 by 6. Okay. Well, let me put this over here with the rest of my stuff. So, yay! Figured that one out. Okay. Now, let me make sure that I'm working with a 12 by 12 piece paper. Not quite. They gave us a little extra on that side. And let's see on this side. All right. Now we got a square piece paper. Let's do my 6 inches, which is the only bad part about this cutter, is the 6-inch mark is just not legible. So let me remind myself where it is. All right, so there it is. All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. I'm going to take these others. I'm going to stick the little thingies. I don't know that these will go in there. Nope. Okay, I'm just going to put that one on top of the other ones so that I can move this out of my way and we can get some work done. So this Recollections paper is not that strong. So we will be doing some, some other papers on here, obviously, to fill this up. First thing I want to do, though, is now I can go ahead and glue this down. I just want to make sure that I'm having a nice white edge on both sides and that everything looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. Whoops. My husband got a new cooker because he just wasn't very happy with his last one. And he absolutely loves it. And I think he cooked everything in our freezer. He just kept saying, "Oh, these burgers came out good, and this steak came out great, and oh, I did some chicken, and he did a pork roast. He smoked. It has a smoke side with a, what do you call it? What I'm doing here is I'm getting the proper length at the bottom. Now, one thing though, before I do that, I'm going to do my edges because I need to make sure that I'm leaving some of the blue edge, and I'm not going to be really good. I don't think these little ones are going to help me at all. This one might. Nope, those are going to be too small. Okay, so I am just going to make a mark where I want to cut these. And let's see if it's going to work on both, so I can just cut them together. Yes. So I'm just going to put two together and give it a good cut. Yep. All right. So we have this one and this one. Let's go ahead and put them down. I must have a bubble. It looks like my glue is exploding on me. Okay, let's line it up so it looks like it's just continuous, and make it the same white edge all the way down. There we go. And I suppose we could go ahead and do this on all the pages. Actually, where's my here? I'm gonna wipe this one off. Okay. I'm not gonna put that one on just yet, because I'm gonna take this yeah, see, that's gonna look nice. I want it down, cover the, we'll want it up a little bit so you'll see the blue. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start by putting a 1/2 inch score line. Let me flip it over so I don't make a mark on my paper, since I don't have my good bone folder in my hand. Okay, so do I want to leave the blue? No, I don't want to leave the blue, because I'm going to put the blue on top of this, so it's going to kind of hide. So I'm going to put the fold line just past the blue. So it's going to be very, very close. Yeah. Yes, I will show some blue. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do it. We're just going to do it, because I think I do want some of the blue to show. I think that will be much prettier. All right. Make sure that you're going to leave enough space from your fold line, and that all of it is even. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, and then I need to do down below. And of course, see, now I've got to make sure I'm going to have enough to do all of the blue. So I'm just going to use my score right where the edge of this paper, the edge of this side piece comes. I just put my bone folder right against that edge and then pulled it down over my paper and started a nice trim line. So that makes that even easier. And then I still cut it just a smidge too short. So I'm going to get another one. I will be able to use that one, I'm sure. Okay. There we go. All right, and we need it cut right. Let's try it out. Okay. Perfect. Yay! Okay. Sometimes that works for me, though, especially when I'm piecemealing papers together. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Got this part done. Well, almost. We're there. Okay, so now we can put this on. Make sure it's even. And I need to cut it. See, I was wrong. I need to cut it just a snippet shorter. And we're going to keep all those little strips. So, okay, beautiful. So now we're going to build onto this page. Once we get it to this stage, so now that I know, so now we're going to build onto this page. And I'm going to, oh, I can't pick anything up. I'm going to put this at the bottom. So all I'll see on the bottom is just the blue strip. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to snip this. So we just hide some of the workings and it doesn't get so fat. This did not quite get in there straight. There we go. All right. Okay. Now, where do we want to cut this? We want to cut this, oh, about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to flip this open and cut right there. All right. Then I'm going to make sure I've got it going the right direction. Then I'm going to get my scoreboard and do another 1/2 inch hinge for myself. And we can go on this side with it. Make sure that it is in line with the other one. Let me erase my pencil mark. And I think the sizes that we're working with right now are going to work fairly well for these. I'm not going to have enough blue. I don't know. Well, maybe I will. I will be doing blue on all of the edges. I'm not going to do the yellow. The yellow I'm going to kind of save for a tag here and there. And that's about it, because I only have one color of, one of the colors. And I think I will have enough white that I'll be able to play with all kinds of stuff. Okay, so we have this and this. Now I need to think of a closure and any other kind of activity that I would like for this page here. Let's open this up. This one's already glued down, but I don't want to glue this one down till I know what I want to do. I certainly don't want to put anything on here. I think I'm going to put a little gusset on here. So I'm lining up the score line that I made previously. And I'm just going to, I don't want a full 1/8. So I'm just pulling the score line off of the groove a little bit towards the next groove so that it's not quite 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to pull it right in the center between two grooves. So it should be laying on the top part. And I'm going to do it again. This is giving you a rolled page instead of a squared page area. So it's going to expand when it's needed, but it's not a squared spot. And I am just kind of catching that very first score line that we made, not the middle one. I'm just catching that, and it automatically kind of rounds. It rounds it instead of squares it off. And I don't know if you can see that or not. To me, it just makes it look a little nicer and not so boxy. And I am going to do a full 1/8 of an inch on this one. And then I'm going to just move both score lines centered on these pegs so that I can go down the center of both of them in the other groove. And again, there's a nice rolled there we go. And if you want to, you pull it to that first score line. That didn't want to go real straight there. There we go. Okay. All right. So now we have room to put some pockets on these pages. So I want to put a pocket here. Yeah, I think like here. And then And then I think I'll put a pocket here. And I'm going to do something different on the front. The front to me is the bling, okay? I'm not necessarily thinking they're going to put a picture on the front page of, you know, whatever interaction things I have. I'm thinking that I'm going to decorate this one and it's going to be beautiful. And then every place else, they're going to be so willing to just put a photo because it's not going to be covered up. And then they will have this beautiful paper that they can slap a photo on and still have some of the pretty. And of course, they're going to have the large tag in each pocket. So I think we're doing well with this one. So let me figure out the pockets and I'll be right back.